Dude, when I got into that theater, I remember the second they told me to turn off my phone, I was just so excited to disconnect and so excited to just commit to what was going to be in front of me for the next hour, 2 hours. And I just surrendered to it, man. And it was like the best experience ever. And I will say a little bit of ego was like, oh, I could do this, and I could probably do this better than some of these people are doing.
Hell yeah.
I really want to do this. So I joined the club. They let me in immediately. Obviously, I had to work my way up, but I mean, that's where it started, man. And then I just fell in love with it. And then I wasn't really doing it seriously because the drama program was kind of neglected in that school. It was all sports.
Right.
But when I got to college, when I got to New World, that's when, you know, I realized like, oh, this is one of my serious passions. Like, this is something I really want to do. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be so hard to avoid.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your motherfucking boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm talking about, bald version, but still beautiful. How you doing? I am so very ecstatic, you know what I'm saying, to bring you another guest, another story, another champion down here at the Midnight of Miami Halls. Before we get to introducing the powerhouse of a guest that we have today, ladies and gentlemen, to my right-hand side, we have our very own co-host, Mr. Christian Bickett. Christian.
Ogres unite!
Good Lord, my brother, how are you?
It's been a hot minute, Juan.
It's been a hot minute. The man is back, and he's got a porn stash to prove it. You know what I'm saying?
What's up? How you doing?
Okay. So talk to us. Last time that we saw you, Christian, you were a little bit too secretive and wouldn't tell us about the production that you were partaking in. But by the time that this has come out, you have closed. So talk to us. What were you in? How long did it run? Give us a little summary.
Man, I've been involved in the production of Now and Then at Actors Playhouse. We run until the end of this week, September 11th. So if you can, even though this episode will be out by then, please come check it out.
Do a little time travel,
you know, it's been some time since we've gotten together, as actors often do.
Yes.
We've had to take a little break, and Juan's still been working lately. But I've been working on that project. It's been fantastic. I've worked with Dave Arisco, Mallory Newbro, Stephen Trevelyan, Laura Turnbull, a fantastic cast, fantastic director. It's been a wonderful, beautiful experience, and it's a play about love, which we can all use a little bit of love in our lives.
Oh man,
it's been amazing.
Yes, and you know what I'm saying. I got to watch it myself. What was it, last weekend? And that was a beautiful experience. Thank you. For that, my brother. Thank you,
bro. Thank you for the support. Support your artists.
Yes. Support your artists. And speaking of artists, ladies and gentlemen, how do I even introduce such a powerhouse? You know what I'm saying? The man before me is such a multifaceted talent. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to be able to introduce for the first time in the hallowed Midnight at Miami Halls, we have Actor Gabriell Salgado. My brother Gabe, how are you today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. You know, we met a while back.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that was commitment.
I wanted to do the whole episode like that, but I decided not to. So you're welcome.
Oh man, that was commitment, and our listeners appreciate that.
No, man, seriously, thanks for having me.
No, of course. Yeah. Gabe, how are you? How's your? What is it? A Monday today?
It's Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday. Right? It feels like a Sunday.
It's Labor
Happy
Day.
Labor Day.
Right.
Feels like a Sunday. Talk to me. How's your Monday been?
I'm good, man. It's been great. Started off with a bike ride. Went on the boat. Got some sun.
Okay. But flex on them. You were telling me earlier. How long was this bike ride? It was like 20 miles or something?
25 miles. I'm training. I'm trying to...
That's what I'm saying.
God damn.
I'm trying to hit 86 miles. That's the goal. I'm trying to bike from here to Palm Beach.
So this is why you won't play pickleball with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you're a fucking...
Yeah.
You're road cycling.
He's an Adonis. That's why. You know what I'm saying?
I've been busy lately with other things as well.
There you go. There you go. You know what
I've
I'm
been
saying?
trying to get these two motherfuckers to... Well, I don't know. I'm censoring myself on there.
Yeah, I
they
don't
played
know
pickleball
why.
with me for about a month and a half, and they won't play with me.
I played with you
On the streets.
Yeah, on the
We
streets.
played on the streets.
I actually had a dream that I played pickleball with you, so technically
Oh, that
They were
counts.
good.
That counts.
I think I've checked that, so I
he
think
met
we're
the
fine.
quota. He met the quota.
It's actually
you know?
a really fucked up dream, but
As long as it doesn't involve my mother.
no, it doesn't.
Good
dude.
Lord, Christian. Why you always bring up your mother,
Yes.
Christian?
Why do you
God.
always bring up my mother, man?
That's
You guys
true.
don't see the shit that happens off air. I know these guys very well. They love to. Mom, I love you.
She's a
You're a beautiful woman. You're an amazing pickleball player.
Yeah.
All right? Ignore these guys. Don't
We
watch
see
this
nothing
episode.
but beautiful things.
Yeah, I've never said I didn't love her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I never said I did
Yeah.
love her. I just never said I didn't love her either.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't make us get into Rebecca, all right, Christian? Because
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? Because we'll
who's
dive
Rebecca?
into it. Oh man, you don't want to know.
don't wanna know about
You don't want to
Rebecca,
know, Rebecca. Man, that woman.
Rebecca, we
needs-
gotta.
Wait, I don't want to know?
I mean, you probably do want to know. I met Rebecca off an app called Field,
Good
FEELD.
Man.
For all you kinky people out there, check it out. Don't be a fucking creep, though. Okay, don't just open up a message and send a dick pic. Say hello, hi, send a short poem.
I'm so sorry.
Then follow it up with
so
a
sorry.
dick pic.
Sorry,
Be
really
classy
quick.
about it.
Sorry, really quick.
Yeah.
No one likes dick pics.
Yeah.
They don't.
No one-
They don't. They're
Yeah.
not cute.
Yeah. They're not. No
What
one
if-
likes.
You know what they
if-
do like is non-dick pics. Like everything but dick in a pic.
Right.
They prefer that.
Right. Send 'em-
Nine times out of 10.
That's facts. Send them a picture of the lasagna you made last night. They'll prefer that. I guarantee you. And that's
All right.
facts, bro.
Or like something artistic,
All right.
bro. Like cover it up with a towel and like, make it
Yeah.
Well, I
man.
like to send like
Make it
small
black and
video
white.
clips. You know
video
what I mean?
clips. You see that. Now
Yo, I
that's a
just-
different
Make it
story.
film
Like
noir.
video clips where it's like, it's like seductive leading in, and then suddenly, woo,
There's
what's
nothing
that?
seductive
Oh my
about
God.
you, Christian.
Anyway, so
Yeah, so you make them think they're looking at an art piece on your wall, and then
Yeah.
wham.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Mom, I'm sorry if you
God.
do watch this episode.
Gabe, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, can we edit this out?
Yeah, Gabe, I'm so sorry about Christian's behavior. Talk to me, Gabe. Talk to us about the roots of it all. You know what I'm saying? You had performed in some of the most renowned theaters down here. When did you get started? What made you have a calling for the stage?
Oh man. Well, actually, I went to. Is it like weird to show a picture?
No, or you can send it to me and then I'll put it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm
Yeah, actually, this is.
Shout out
actually
Future
perfect.
Juan.
I don't know if I have your phone number, but
Shout out Future Juan.
I
yeah.
don't know if I have your phone number.
Shout
but
out to our
I'll send it to
editing
Christian.
fucking guru over here. Our editing genius.
Okay, so basically, I went to Columbus High School.
Okay.
To play football. I had a passion for football, looking like this. Cue the picture.
Yeah, cue the
I looked
headshot.
like this.
You are very cute.
I was 5 feet 90 pounds. Okay. Wait, I can show it to you.
Yeah.
This is what I look like.
Oh,
That was my
damn.
first day of high school. I was 14 years old, or like
Damn.
15. Look at this.
That boy's
I think I was
hard.
15 actually.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I went there to play football because I was really fast in flag football.
Your tie game was legit. I'll tell you
no,
that.
dude.
Oh,
my
man.
time game was hard. So I went there to play football, and obviously I got injured right away. Practically, I never even got to play a game. I strained my meniscus. I got a concussion. They helicopter fit me. I mean, it was horrible. But I was on crutches. I'll never forget. And I was in my math class, and the math teacher was also the drama teacher. She did the drama club and the classes and all that. And she goes, God, I mean, this is an all-boys school for anyone who doesn't know. I mean, Columbus is a Catholic, private, all-boys high school. And she's like, guys, like no one ever comes to see the plays. Like, please just come and I'll give you extra credit if you see the play. Please, just come. And they were doing See How They Run. This is a farce. I forgot the playwright. But whatever. And I was like, damn, no, I got to go see this weird ass drama, what the so I'm in crutches, right?
Right.
I'm super cool, 5 feet 90 pounds crutches. And I'm like, man, I'm so above this shit.
Right.
Dude, when I got into that theater, I remember the second they told me to turn off my phone, I was just so excited to disconnect and so excited to just commit to what was going to be in front of me for the next hour, 2 hours. And I just surrendered to it, man. And it was like the best experience ever. And I will say a little bit of ego was like, oh, I could do this. And I could probably do this better than some of these people are doing.
Hell yeah.
I really want to do this. So I joined the club. They let me in immediately. Obviously, I had to work my way up. But I mean, that's where it started, man. And then I just fell in love with it. And then I wasn't really doing it seriously because the drama program was kind of neglected in that school. It was all sports.
Right.
But when I got to college, when I got to New World, that's when, I realized like, oh, this is one of my serious passions. Like, this is something I really want to do.
Yeah.
So that's where that started.
Wow.
Yeah.
First, can we please give it up for our drama teachers? You know what I'm saying? Big shout out.
Aaron McGrath.
There we go,
Shout out
sir.
to you.
There you go. That's the first shout out of the night. You know what I'm saying?
There you
The
go.
first of many. At what point, and also, the best part about having crutches or a cast is asking a cute girl to sign your cast. Oh man.
Yeah, too bad there were no girls in my school.
Oh damn, man. Oh man. Damn. Yeah,
okay.
you just have to ask you like at Publix or something.
No,
you know?
or like my 70-year-old counselor. That was fine.
There you go. Yeah, shoot for the moon.
It's good enough.
Hell yeah. You had mentioned when you went to college, just really when you had figured out that, this is what you wanted to do, is when you were going to buckle down. This is it. This is what you found out your calling, if you will. What led you to that audition for New World? Because, to audition for such a prestigious school or whatever the case, I'm assuming you had to already have been taking it serious to a certain extent in high school.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was set to go to FIU for finance.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I had no idea what
Shit.
I wanted to do.
So
I was like, maybe I want money, so let me learn about money.
That's a turn of events right there.
Yeah, but then I think somehow, I don't remember if it was like a friend of the family that worked there, but I think I got the audition either through them or someone that saw me at States or something. And then I auditioned, and I remember the cutoff date for FIU was before the audition. So I was like, damn, I'm already like registered. I'm either going to have to drop out now and risk not getting into New World, or I can't even, have the chance to get into New World. So I took the leap of faith and I dropped out of FIU with no promise, no guarantee that I was going to get into New World. And then, thank God I got in. If not, I don't know where I'd be right now.
Holy.
So yeah, I dropped out and then I went to the audition. I put everything I had into it, and it just worked out. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say it worked out pretty well.
Yeah. No,
Considering how things have been going.
there are no accidents, man. Everything happens for a reason. And
Yep.
It's funny that it's like the old story about the man and the horse, and he goes away, and it's always like, oh, that sounds great, but no, it's not because of this. Oh, that sounds horrible. No, it ended up working out. Some of the things that you think are the worst things that happen to you end up facilitating a path for the best thing to happen to you, and vice versa. So you just got to take it as it comes,
How was both of your experience at New World?
Well, I would
Take
say
it away,
we
man.
had
I think we had very, very different experiences.
we had very different experiences. New World, they really teach. If you're a new actor coming into the school, I came from an entirely strictly improv background. They worked on me with the basics to working with Chekhov to Shakespeare to musical theater. They cover everything in New World School of the Arts. So if you do end up going to a college like that, you walk away being a well-rounded actor. There are people who I saw started at New World. They didn't really know how to act. And by the time they graduated, which I did not, they were different people. And they were probably better for going to the program. It was an amazing experience in that regard. Seeing how people changed and got better and really, really, really stuck to the program. It really served them well. So that was my experience personally. Dope. And I learned a lot as well. But Gabe, I know, you ate it up over there.
Yeah, well, going off of that,
Right?
just to sort of have like a general idea of what I think about the school and any other school that teaches acting, I think acting class is where you learn about yourself and you learn about life. And I think life is your acting class. Yeah. You can't really teach the part of you that it just comes naturally, like talent. You can't teach talent. You can teach skills, right? But in the method of teaching those skills, you learn so much about yourself. So you see these people that you're talking about. I don't think that New World necessarily, obviously they taught them some skill sets for acting, but really what it does is it changes you as a person. Like you said, it teaches you to be yourself, and it teaches you to really commit. And if you don't want to do that, you don't make it through. Now, one thing is leaving the school, another thing is getting kicked out or for whatever reason. But man, that school it's a boot camp, and it does so much to you as a person, to your psyche, to how you see yourself. I mean, so many different aspects. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's intense, but it's well worth it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, my experience was great. My senior year in high school, my GPA was, I was actually talking to someone about this today. My GPA in my senior year in high school was a 1.8. So I went off the deep end senior year. But at New World, I mean, my grades were incredible because I was doing something that I loved to do. Right. So as soon as I got into that school and I started, going through the curriculum, I realized, wow, every single assignment excites the shit out of me. Right. So, which is a very different experience from some other people, because it tests you in ways that it's not going to be receptive to some people, which totally makes sense. It doesn't make them any less of an actor or any more of an actor. But for me, it was like perfect. It was like the shoe fit perfectly. So every assignment just excited the shit out of me. I really committed. I went above and beyond, and I kept that energy all 4 years. I had my moments. College is a time to explore, a lot of experiment and figure yourself out. So I had my ups and downs, but for the most part, I committed and I trusted the process. I mean, it's a cliche, and they always said to do it, so I did it, and it worked out for me.
Yeah. So many people fight. They fight the flow. They fight the process.
Yes.
As someone who's been quite rebellious in his own experience, I'm talking about myself here. I've been someone who's often fought processes and fought the flow. And one of the best things you can do, I think, especially after having an experience over there, is accepting what you're going through. When you accept things, it makes it that much easier. And it also changes you. It teaches you things. It teaches you things about yourself. It teaches you how to deal with adversity. It teaches you, that's all I got.
Would you say
It's true.
Would you say you regret your time there or no?
Not at all. No.
Okay.
No.
Dope.
I wouldn't have done anything that I've done today without that school. So yeah.
Dope. Okay. Gabe, question. I want to know, now that you've also dabbled as well being behind the scenes as far as the directorial or whatever the case, not only being on stage, but being, more from being able to see the entire picture. Would you say, if you have a say in a casting decision, that there is a preference to someone that went to a New World or someone that didn't, or is it strictly based off of the audition?
The short answer for me, if it were my decision and I was casting, the short answer is it doesn't matter. I believe short answer is it doesn't matter, but the longer answer is there seems to be a consistent difference in the skill set with people who are trained. And it doesn't make them any better of an actor, but in terms of an actor, someone you're paying for, who's a part of a production you're spending money on, and all of these business at the end of the risks and liabilities. They wouldn't hire me for a lead role in a huge feature film, multi-million-dollar film, over another actor that's more credible, even if I'm a lot better. Not all the time, but I mean, it's a business, know? So at the end of the day, it comes down to that. But for smaller regional theaters and stuff like that, I think if you have what it takes and you show, and also it depends on the director, if they're willing to work with someone, that makes a huge difference too. But for me, especially being a younger creator, if I was directing something, I'd be more than open to working with someone who doesn't have necessarily all the prerequisites, but that shows sort of a tenacity and an interest and a passion that is unmatched. And if they're right for the part, then I'd love to see that flourish. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think that being in the room when people are auditioning, does that give you sort of an upper hand or an advantage when you're auditioning in other scenarios?
Oh, dude, it's been a masterclass.
Yeah. Oh man, tell me about that.
Listen, if you ever get, both of you are actors, it's a moment to just put your pride aside. It could, depending on what you're doing, but if you can just take a chance to sit in one of these rooms while people are auditioning, if it's a general audition or callbacks or whatever, if you can get a chance to sit behind the table and see how it goes down, you're gonna learn so damn much.
I can only
imagine. It was a freaking masterclass because I went I've been working with Zoetic Stage as an artistic associate.
Shout out Zoetic Stage.
Shout out Zoetic. I love them and everything they do. I love their work and I love to be a part of it. I started working with them when I was in college as a stagehand. Behind
that
the
was
curtain.
the first.
I did like 5 or 6 shows with them as a stagehand. Just running props.
Talk about leveling up. You know what I'm saying? Talk about leveling up.
You work your way up. They took a huge leap of faith with me as an actor, and it's paid off. And now they see me as an artistic collaborator. So I'm super honored for that. And so I've been working with them, and I was with them for unified auditions and their general auditions for their season and callbacks and all that. And I'll be there for the callbacks for #Grace, which I think both of you will be at, right?
I think so. I'm not sure yet. I think so.
I don't know.
I think so.
I know.
I think
let's cut that out then.
No, we will see. I believe so.
Okay.
I believe
well,
so.
Anyway, so being behind the table, I mean, dude, it's a game changer. When you just, the number one takeaway I've gotten is just be the piece of the puzzle that you are. Don't try to be the whole puzzle. Don't try to go in there and solve everything. Just be the part. And it's one of the biggest things I learned when I was working on The Code by Michael McKeever. We did it at the Foundry a couple months ago.
Nice.
I went from doing lead roles back to, I started with Frankenstein, then Gringolandia, then Death Trap, and then I did The Code. And all those lead roles, I mean, they were extremely demanding. Not so much Gringolandia, but the other ones were like very, very demanding. And then I went to The Code, where I was the smallest role in the show, and I had, the least amount of lines, and I was so stressed because I was like, man, I'm not doing enough. I don't know how to stand out. I don't know how to make this richer, and it didn't need to be. The day I stopped trying was the day Chris Renshaw came up to me and said, "Hey, good work. That was a lot better than before."
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I just stopped trying because you don't always have to try. You have to do what you need to do, and then that's it. Just do your job. So in an audition, your job is to just go there, show your skill set, stand out in a way, but don't be the entire performance. Don't try to be the best actor they've ever seen. Don't try. Mm-hmm. Be yourself. Because guess what? It's like if there's an audition for a specific role. Let's say this role is an athlete, like let's say a basketball player. You're auditioning for a basketball player, and they say, "Hey, we want a 2-minute video of you just tell us about yourself." I've played basketball before, right? But I would never say now that I'm a basketball player. So if I go and make this 2-minute video just being Gabe to these casting directors, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I love playing basketball. I'm trying to be perfect for this part," right? They're not going to remember me for other roles if I'm tailoring so specifically to this one. But if I actually show who I am, which is what they're asking for, if I just show them who I am, they're going to have a much better idea of who I am. That can then influence later, productions in the future. These casting directors see a lot of people, but they remember people that they want to work with. Yeah, they do, for sure. I mean, when you're going through so many, it's hard to remember, but at least they'll think, oh, what about that guy? What about? And if you're tailoring it, you're putting yourself in a box. You don't want to do that. I mean, actors are the best ones are so diverse and have so much variety. So if you're always trying to be perfect for whatever it is you're auditioning for, it might hurt you later. Yeah. So that's another thing I learned.
Such a good point. That reminds me, actually, a couple of weeks ago, we had Natalie Cabo come through. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out, Natalie Cabo.
Natalie.
And she actually went to see your show as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Natalie.
And she had brought up a point very similar to that, which is that when she had auditioned for the casting director for this Netflix show that she was doing, 20 Somethings, I believe it's called. Is that the name of it? And at first, years ago, he had nothing for her. And basically had said that, I have nothing for you. The age-old speech, we've all heard it. Mm-hmm. And then years pass. He's casting for this show on Netflix, 20 Somethings. And he hits her up, "Hey, now I have something for you." And just the importance of kind of like leaving that bridge open, not burning any bridges. Have you had any similar scenarios where you audition for someone and he's like, man, I love what you're doing. I just have nothing for you right now. And then maybe a couple seasons down the line, something did happen.
I haven't been on the back end of it yet, but I've been on the middle end of it. Right? So I have been I guess the best example I can give that relates to that is I have a manager in New York. Shout out Harris Spilios.
There you go. Big shout out.
He's been amazing. Reached out to me after Frankenstein. I guess one of his friends saw it and recommended me. But he's sent me on some pretty great auditions for plays up north in New York and Connecticut and other things, other places. But I auditioned for this one play, Los Hombres, I think. It's a hot new play about this yoga instructor and these construction workers and sort of this homophobic nature. And one of the construction workers tries to take yoga, but he doesn't want the other guys to find out. Point is, the yoga instructor is the lead role, and that's the role I auditioned for. And he's gay, right?
Okay.
And I auditioned for the role, and it's a fine line, especially for someone who doesn't identify as homosexual or LGBTQ, auditioning for a role like that. And I made it clear to the casting people, but to try to play gay, it's a fine line of like, what are you supposed to do? So I just played the truth of the scene. I didn't want to play a sexuality or play sort of a tone. So I just played the truth of the scene. And they, I didn't get the part, but my manager asked for feedback from the casting team. And they said, he's too straight, which is fine.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
Right. Yeah.
But that's fine. Because guess what? If I would have played gay,
right.
One, I could have offended somebody, perhaps, if I didn't know how to manage that correctly. Or two, I'd give off an image of who I am actually as a person that wouldn't go in line with maybe something they'll hire me for later.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Be yourself, man. And yes, you're playing a role, so act like the part.
Yeah.
But for things like that, especially when, we're at a time right now, thank God, we're trying to give these LGBTQ roles to LGBTQ people. Right. So you also don't want to infringe with that too much, but I think just being yourself is super important, even in your acting. It's
your authentic self.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Christian, have you had any similar scenarios?
Man, I'm trying to think here, man. I can't recall any off the top of my head.
Maybe on
Juan, have you had any similar scenarios?
Okay, throw a damn reverse Uno card at me. Okay.
Baby.
Have I had? Yeah. I think I've had like maybe I went in for like a casting director that does predominantly like commercials or something along those lines. And maybe actually, yes, there's a very specific scenario. I had auditioned for this casting director a while back. And there was nothing for me at the time. And then a couple years passed and they're doing a commercial around the time of the Copa America. And they're kind of, the theme of it is like each country has like a fan, like going crazy for the country. And me being from Argentina went full method and went for the Argentinian fan, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, you're perfect because you are that. And then they ended up picking me for that.
I feel like I recall this casting.
Yeah,
this was years ago,
It was
right?
years ago. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. But yeah.
I'm just realizing that you guys have been acting for a lot longer than I have.
I wouldn't go that far.
And this is what I wanted to. So, Gabe, one of the most impressive things about this guy to me, why I've been so excited about having him on the show, is that
#, booked and blessed.
Gabe, you just happy belated birthday, by the
thanks,
way.
man.
Happy belated.
It was recently. So you're 25.
25.
How you gonna put him on the spot
now,
like
right?
that, yo?
I gotta put him on the spot because
Sheesh.
this cat is one of the most calm, cool, collected motherfuckers I've met. Let's talk about fuck South Florida Theater. I love South Florida Theater. Not fuck South Florida Theater. Thank God for South Florida Theater.
Christian was never heard from again.
But really, your mindset has always, and I've been very, I feel like I've been very open about this between us. You have such a positive, go-getter, I'm not going to let anything stand in my way mindset. And it's a mindset that not a lot of creatives, artists have. We can all be, myself especially, incredibly insecure. And would you credit that to your upbringing? Would you credit that to your family, to New World? I mean, where does that come from? Because you've always been so positive. Mm-hmm. It's almost like what is this guy drinking? You know what I mean? I've been taking lion's mane shrooms. I've been taking a bunch of supplements lately to try and get in there. And what is it you do, man?
And before you answer that, I just want to branch off. When I went in for my Zoetic audition, he had already kind of like briefed me on you being awesome. And honestly, no, he had. And when I went in, I mean, obviously you go into any audition and like, yeah, once you've been doing it for a minute, the nerves maybe get diluted a little bit, but there's always going to be something.
There's pressure.
Of course, exactly. Pressure. Great word. And then just like your ambiance there, which was like, so like you said, like calm and cool and collected. Like it was just, it set the tone. And it like took all those, like it took the pressure away, at least for me, and clearly it ended up working out positively, so thank you for that.
Of course, man. Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words from both of you. I mean, that means the world to me. Listen, I think the short answer is perspective. You know, I've been insecure. I am insecure at times. Believe me, I'm not perfect by any means. I do attest most of it to sort of my spiritual perspective on my existence. You know, I've been through some tough things in my life, just like anyone else, and it's all relative also. So, you know, I don't know how to put that on the spectrum there, but, you know, I've had my moments, but I've also had some pretty incredible moments, and being there for those just as much as the hard ones is really important. Taking the wins. Let yourself win. Let yourself, man, because it's so hard for people and it's so hard for me. I'm getting emotional right now. It's so hard to win. Just win. Yeah. Win every day.
Yeah.
You wake up. That's a dub.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fucking dub. But no, I think, you know, my dad shout out to my dad and my mom. Oh my God, just the best people in the world.
Big shout out.
Yeah. Big shout out. My mom was a single mother for most of my life, and just her tenacity and that's where I get the go-getter. That's where my money moves, my career moves. I'm always climbing. That's where I get it from. My calm and cool side, that's my dad. He got cancer about 10 years ago, and he had to get surgery, and I went with him. It was up in Orlando, and I remember I was in like middle school, I think, and he sort of had like this spiritual awakening. And he's all good now, by the way. It's all gone.
Okay.
He's good.
All right.
I'm very happy
you
to
see
hear
our
that.
faces. We're like,
no, it was prostate cancer. You know, those are like one of the easier ones to treat.
Yeah.
So, but he's good now. God bless him. But, yeah, so he sort of had like this spiritual awakening, and he started talking to me about it like if I was on the same page. And for years I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. You're in La La Land, bro. Get a grip. Like, come back down to earth. Where are you right now? He's talking about reincarnation, I'm like, dude, I'm like 15 right now. I can't really understand any of this.
Yeah.
So it really honestly created sort of like a
disconnect.
Yeah, a disconnect between us. And man, let me tell you, the more he talked about it, and the more I experienced life, and the more I saw the connection between the things I was seeing, the things I was hearing, the things I was feeling, and the things he was saying, is when it started clicking. When you take your ego out of things, that's when the magic happens. You know, when you, and another shout out, Matthew Corazine from New York. He's a teacher, acting coach. He's phenomenal. He's teaching me exactly that in an acting component, which is also life. Like I said, acting class is life class. Yeah. Being in the moment, taking the attention off yourself and putting it on other people and other things is the key, dude. It is the key. When you are here, that's the only place you can be.
Right.
And being the observer of that. You know, we hear about it all the time, but it's so hard to practice it. There's no way that you are the thoughts in your head, because you are experiencing them. You know, you are just the observer. Be the observer. It's like a conference in your head. You're not everyone at the table. Listen to it and throw it out, man. You are much simpler than you think. Yeah. You know, we complicate so much. And I'm still here. Dude, it's a daily battle. So when you think I'm being cool, calm, I'm doing that in that moment. It's not because that's where I'm at all the time. You have to decide. I'm a pacifist. I don't fight people. I'm not confrontational. I don't like arguments. I don't like I try to be the best person I can to everybody. And it ends up, you know, what goes around comes around. Yeah. So I think just being a good person, take the attention off yourself, and just Find something you love, man, and just fucking do it.
Damn.
And stop judging yourself. Be nice to yourself.
Yeah.
This was perfect. Matthew Corazine did this in class. He said, I was in like a serious moment. He said, okay, your 8-year-old Gabe. 8-year-old Gabe is sitting on his bed. What do you tell him? And I would tell him, like, dude, you're going to be all right. Like, you're such a good person. Like, just see it through, whatever. And he goes, why aren't you that nice to yourself right now?
Right.
Why the 8-year-old you? Why are we so nice to past us and other people, and we're so mean to ourselves?
That's so true, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Be your best friend. Be the partner you want.
Right.
We are always seeking shit from the outside world. Be that.
Is it hard for you to be present in the sense that, like, for example, you had said every day that you wake up is a dub, right? Are you good at being able to step back and look at everything in the sense of, wow, I just got cast for this. I got cast for that. I just finished this show. I was invited to travel to blah, blah, blah to audition for blah, blah, blah. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have been dreaming about this. Are you good about that?
Yeah, actually, that's something I've been realizing within the past year. I mean, listen, I've been acting professionally for a year, literally a year now. I started Frankenstein September of last year.
We got to get into that in a second, but...
Yeah, well, the pandemic was a weird year, and, I graduated right before it, so I really started acting a year ago. So it's all hitting me slowly now, But yeah, that's a really great point, man. We take so many things for granted, and if you just take the time, because we always want more, and it's our nature, and you can't judge that either.
No.
But taking the time to be like, yo, we're pretty good right now. And even when things are hard, like I said earlier, the things that may seem the hardest might end up leading to some of the best things that ever happened to you. Has something ever happened to you where you're like, yo, this is the worst thing ever, and it ended up being one of the best things ever?
Yeah.
A relationship, a job, losing a person, losing a job, losing a house, like something that ended up leading to something great.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
That's why you have to see, and also the other way around, something great that leads to something that may not be so great.
Yeah.
So it's just taking everything at face value. Being there for the good things just like you are for the bad things.
Absolutely.
Very true. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, we have three segments, and the first one is actually called Mail Time. I stole that shit from Blue's Clues. And in this beautiful segment, we ask our illustrious guest 3 questions that you yourself have submitted via DM on the IG or whatever the case, So here we go.
There's definitely going to be some scandalous questions in this one.
It's not too bad.
Are these questions specific to guests or
to you?
Fans.
Yeah. Your fans, they clamor. All right. Have you ever come close to calling it a day on performing?
You mean to not be an actor anymore?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll never ever forget this moment. And this goes hand in hand with what I said earlier about not trying. I was in New York for our showcase at New World, and I think her name is Barbara Goldstein. She's a huge casting director up there.
She sounds so familiar.
Yeah, and we were just in like a 2-day crash course with all these casting directors that were like really roasting us because we were doing so many things wrong, and the resumes and the pictures. I felt horrible. I was like, I don't want to do this. So then we're in this room and we're getting ready to put our scene, our monologues on tape in front of this casting director who's going to coach us. And then the next day, these filmed monologues were going to be played in front of a bunch of casting directors. a bunch of managers and agents for the actual showcase. And I remember sitting in the back of the room, and I think Rachel O'Hara was next to me, or Melanie Johnson. I forget who. I think it was Rachel. Whatever. And we're going one by one, all these kids from all these different schools all over the country. And I remember thinking, I don't want to do this right now. I'm so insecure right now of my abilities. I do not want to go up there and do this monologue in front of this huge casting director. And I frankly don't even want to be an actor anymore. I think I'm not even going to wait till our flight to Miami. I think I'm just going to book my flight right now and go tonight or tomorrow morning. I was ready to call it a quits, dude. Ready, right? Finally, the time comes. Everyone else has gone, and they go, is anyone left? I didn't say anything. And then she goes, there should be one person left. And then I think Rachel was like, yo, just go, just do it. Just do it. And I was like, fine. I just memorized this monologue, whatever. And I go up to the camera and she goes, okay, you ready? I was like, yeah. I stand up there and I'm like, I start. And then I fucked it up and I was like, can I start again? I was mad, like attitude. Jeez. And she goes, yeah. I was like, okay. It's one of my least spiritual moments. She goes, yeah, go ahead. I did the monologue and then I finished and I was like, okay. And she just stayed quiet. She was staring at me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then after 30 seconds, she goes, you are a powerhouse. Or something along those lines. She was like, you remind me of all the actors I loved growing up. She was like, can I hug you? Can I just hug? And I was like dumbfounded. I was like, what is going on? I just put the least amount of effort I've ever put into anything. And I'm getting praised right now. Wow. Sure, one component of that is my look. Sure, whatever that may be.
It's more than that, though.
But I'm saying there was something about not trying. There was something about not caring about how I looked and how I sounded and how I was acting that made me stand out.
Yeah.
All these people in this New York showcase, young actors getting out of school, dying to get an agent, dying to get a manager, dying to move to New York, are like putting their heart and soul into every word, every second of their monologue, every moment in their scene. And then this fucking asshole comes up, doesn't say, fucking doesn't try anything. And then she's like blowing smoke on my ass the whole time. I mean, it was honestly an absurd moment. I'm sure other people in that room hated me for it, but it's a lesson for everyone in that room, including me, including them. My God.
Wow.
How do you explain that? I don't know.
Wow. I don't know either. You never know. You just really never know. And it's weird how sometimes in this industry, when you try the least, you get the best results. Yet we're supposed to be working hard, finding the details, finding specificity. Yeah. And then there are some moments where you say, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to let it fly. And it works out incredibly. Well, I don't understand that phenomenon. Well, I think
just to be clear, I'm not saying don't care, and I'm not saying don't try. I think it's a matter of trusting the technique, and that's why I'm saying training is so important. You trust it. You do all that work. Mm-hmm. For Frankenstein, for example, I did like 30 pages of paperwork.
Right.
Character analysis, scene analysis for every single scene, Hodge analysis, all this stuff I learned in New World. I applied everything to it. And then when I got to rehearsal, I said, forget it and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And it worked out. I wasn't thinking about every decision I made. I wasn't thinking about all the little nuances. I wasn't thinking about everything. Mm-hmm. I just did all the work and then trusted it. And I think that's the key. Oh, yeah. Because I did the work for that monologue, but then I just trusted it. Right. That's why. It's not because I had an attitude about it that I didn't care. It's because it was already there. I didn't have to do anything to it.
Yeah.
You follow?
Right. Yeah. Christian, do the honors of reading the second question from our Mail Time segment.
Mr. Gabriel. All right. So what is your dream role? Assuming it wasn't Frankenstein, because you did a hell of a fucking job in that show.
Well, thanks, man. I think... I don't know how to answer that question, man. I'm on cloud 9. No, on the contrary, I couldn't name. I'm on cloud 9 with the work I've done and the work I have lined up. I mean, truly, what an honor. Frankenstein as my professional debut was a dream. I could have died that night after opening night. I would have been fucking happy. Yeah. I mean, that's my dream. The fact that I did that, and now my dream is not a specific role. My dream is just pushing it, seeing how far I can go, and how many things I can do. That's my dream.
And for many of the people who didn't get the chance to see that show, what was some of your process like during that? Because it was pretty rigorous, especially for a debut performance. I mean, you were pushing it to the limits. You lost a ton of weight for that role, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost 25 pounds.
25
Dang,
yeah. That's what's up.
By opening night, it was 25, yeah. And then I slowly gained weight through the run because I couldn't sustain myself. It was too much. Right. But so I knew I was doing the role for about a year before we did it because, the pandemic. I was supposed to do it the year before, and then I was supposed to do Gringolandia. Actually, I was supposed to do a really small role, then Gringolandia, then Frankenstein, sort of a build up into this massive role. And then after the pandemic, just the way the season worked out with Zoetic, everything got flipped. Right. And then I was doing Frankenstein first. I was like, oh, shit. So I worked on it for about a year.
Okay.
I read the play about 1.5 million times. And like I said, I did a lot of paperwork. I went through all my journals, all my folders, and everything I had from New World. And I just said, even if I didn't like this class or this note or this teacher. I'm going to implement every single thing I learned.
Right.
Just to see what happens. Kitchen sink, right? I had so much time.
Right.
I was like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
I did all the analysis, all the work, whatever. And then after I did that, I rented a room, or not rented, but I borrowed a room at New World. I asked Patrice. Shout out to Patrice Bailey. Saved my life. Amazing woman.
Shout out.
Just retired.
Big
actually.
shout out.
And she gave me a room for a couple weeks. A couple months. I was there almost every day. For about
rehearse?
4 or 5 hours by myself in a room, doing the physical work. So it was such a physically demanding role. So yeah, I did a couple months doing that, and then I was off book going into rehearsals. I had done all my work. So I mean, once I got in there, I could just play. And man, I was surrounded by so many amazing, well-known actors that it was a breeze, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, once the work is done and you're surrounded with so many amazing artists, it just sort of landed for me. It felt like I wasn't working hard.
Right.
It was extremely difficult, but it felt like it was just coming to me.
Right.
You know? So.
And that's the best thing, I think,
it's
you
the best
have as
feeling,
an
man.
actor is
Yeah.
when you're not having to reach for things. Intuitively, things are right, but you put in the work.
I did. And,
You know?
yeah, and it kind of, it set like a bar for me that is actually really annoying because I don't have time to ever do that again. You know, to have that much free time during quarantine to just sit there and invest every second of every day into that, you know, that role and that analysis.
It's a luxury.
Oh man, yeah. That's why that was my dream role, to have that opportunity to just sink my teeth as deep as I can into that.
And you hit it out of the park, man. I mean, I remember even going to a
man.
restaurant. You know, I went one day and one of the servers, she was like, "Oh, you're an actor?" You know, we were talking. I was possibly hitting on her, and she was just like, "I just saw this awesome play, Frankenstein. Do you know Gabe Salgado?" And I was just like, "No." And then we met 2 weeks later, which was crazy. Which was wild. And I remember hearing about that through her, and then we met, and then he showed me the videos. And the thing is, for those of you who don't watch plays or theater doesn't usually look good on camera, okay?
Yeah.
The video clips that I saw from the show, I unfortunately didn't get to see the show. They looked incredible. And Zoetic Stage usually puts on phenomenal work. They're at the Arts Center. It's a beautiful space. It's a wonderful venue. But seeing you do your thing from lying down, seeing all the weight you lost inhabiting the creature, Frankenstein, it was remarkable to watch on camera. And usually you only get that effect when you're there in the house watching the performance live. If something looks good on tape, I'm pretty sure it's going to be great when you go to see it in person. And that's what made it so much more impressive when I saw those video clips.
I really wish you had seen it, man.
I wish I
It's in the past now.
And the last question from our mail time segment. Who was an inspiration for you growing up? And I think they mean as far as like acting inspiration, maybe in a movie or whatever the case.
Definitely Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was... I like to call myself a dramatic actor, but a part of me feels like I should lean towards comedy and see what happens, because I mean, Jim Carrey was huge for me. And The Mask was one of the first things I saw that I said, oh, like, I want to do something like that. And I did something like that. My senior thesis at New World, my one-person show, I played like 9 or 10 different characters. I remember...
Damn.
Yeah, I remember Stuart asked me, he was like, what kind of movies do you like? What kind of this do you like? I was like, oh, I like action, I like superhero, I like comedy, I like, you know, all this. And he goes, all right, do all of that. I was like, all right, fuck it. And I did. It's actually on YouTube. I guess, you know, I don't know if you could put a link or something.
Yeah, of course.
But,
Oh, shit.
It's like 20-something minutes. And I'm a huge fan. It's like one of my favorite things I've ever done. I wrote it, you know, Stuart helped me put it together, and my classmates too. And then it's just a one-person show.
All right.
But Jim Carrey... he's just a huge inspiration for me, man. Liar, Liar. I mean, just so many movies. The Truman Show. Yeah, he was huge for me. Yeah. Wow. And even now, it's so funny, this sort of like spiritual awakening he's having.
Yeah. He paints now. Yeah.
Loosely.
Yeah, it's so funny when I hear people talk about it. They're like, oh man, you know, I tell them I like Jim Carrey. They're like, oh man, he's gone off the deep end. And I'm like, actually, I think he's found himself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
For the first time, this guy looks like he knows who he is. You know, it's the curse of an actor. You lose sort of a perspective on who you are when you're constantly playing characters and you're constantly seeking people's approval and you're constantly fighting for so many things.
Oh yeah.
You're not where you are, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things I've been trying to do also. And I think I would attest that to why I'm so confident in myself right now is because I've taken the time to sort of figure out who I am.
Right.
And Jim Carrey was an inspiration for that too. So I would have to say Jim Carrey. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Thank you for sending in those questions every single week. Send in those questions. Gabe, you had mentioned seeking approval. What's your relationship with reviews, reviewers, and the like?
Ooh. So far they've been good.
Okay.
I got one sentence in a review that was not hot. But it wasn't that bad. It was just something along the lines of, and Salgado's performance, apart from one, forced emotional moment, everything else was great.
Man.
I was like, all right, I'll give it to you. I wasn't feeling it that day.
Yeah.
So I read it after and I was like, yeah, I did have an off moment that day, but
Kind of
it
a
is.
douchey
man.
thing to write.
It is what it is, man.
That's an Oscar compared to my reviews, boy. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, I was about to shout him out, but I'm not because I'll get canceled.
No cancellations.
But does it play? You know what I'm saying? Did it affect you at all the next day? Did you make any changes the next day, or did you come in on a fuck it attitude?
No, listen, especially in South Florida, criticism, theater criticism in South Florida is very supportive. It's sort of one of those industries where it has to be, because it has to be, so that's good.
Yeah.
But, I read all reviews. I love to read them. Obviously, they've been good so far, so obviously I love to read them. But even when they're not good, I'm curious. I know a lot of actors who don't want to see them. They don't want to read them. They don't want to hear them. Again, if you're confident in who you are and what you do, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to know. I want to see how other people perceive me. Just today, I was talking to someone, and they were like, "You look like a douchebag."
Oh, okay. What?
Actually, it's my girlfriend. she said, "You look like a douchebag." And I was next to Vanessa McCloskey, the stage manager from Zoetic, and her boyfriend Julian, and she goes, "Yeah, you do look like a douchebag." And I was like, "What does that mean?" Are we doing? And they're like, "No, but you're a nice person. Like, you're not a douchebag, but you look like one."
This is a casting seminar. What the hell?
No, but I was like, "Man, this is so informative."
Right.
Like what other people think. I'm not a douchebag. I know I'm not a douchebag. I've had douchey moments for sure, but I'm not a douche. And it's so funny to see how other people perceive you. That's why I love reading reviews. I want to see what they see. Right. And it's not because, I want to change it to make them like me. I just want to gain the perspective, and actually the more, I guess, the bigger the difference in someone else's perspective, the more you realize where you're at. Right. If you see yourself a certain way and someone else sees you a completely different way, you're like, what's that disconnect? Mm-hmm. What is it? Something I'm doing? Is it just their sort of their hardwiring in this world? Like, it's such a curious thing to me. So I love reading reviews. But yeah, seeking approval is a very real thing, and I usually find myself doing most of it in the audition process.
Okay.
And in networking. I find it hard to be myself when I'm out somewhere. Like I went to the Silver Palm Awards last year, and I was in the middle of Frankenstein, and my head was shaved, and I was very skinny, and my suit didn't even fit me, and I was so insecure, and I don't want to be here. I want to support this, but I feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But now if I were to do that right now, I'd feel a lot better, because I've gotten better at that. But yeah, dude, just being confident in yourself and saying fuck all the noise.
Hell yeah.
So important.
Christian, what's your relationship with reviews?
Man, for instance, we just had it's crazy how short our run is. So we rehearsed for 3 weeks, and then we have 3 weeks of shows, and it's crazy because we're just now starting to get into a rhythm. All the reviews came out first week. They were wonderful reviews. I've personally had positive experiences. I try not to read them, but because of the dressing room gossip, they tend to go around, and I end up reading them, right?
Yeah. I
do find them to be informative, but where my mind was going through all this is this process that I've had personally working at Actors Playhouse. I'm working with Mallory Newbro, and she's a phenomenal scene partner. I've never had this open of a relationship in terms of discussing choices, the things we're going to do, the things that she's going to do, the things I'm going to do, and then fucking dropping all of it and just seeing what happens. how do you feel collaborating? Because as working with other actors, right? Sometimes an actor tells you something and you're like, I don't know if I see it that way. They'll be like, hey, like you said that line pretty aggressively. Like maybe it's more like this. And the old me used to kind of shut down, right? With this character that I've been portraying and now and then, he's a lot more relaxed than Christian is. He's not as intense. He's not as aggressive. And there was one day where Mallory was just like, dude, you seemed really heated in that scene. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So what? I seemed like overly aggressive? And she was just like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, is that right for Jamie? Jamie's the character that I'm playing. And she was just like, it's right for you. But for him, I don't know. And it was such an astute observation for her to make. It was such a wonderful opportunity for me to go, hey, I'm going to let my guard down. I'm working with this person. We're working to make this play phenomenal together. Why don't I just take this? Is it a criticism? Is it a note? Is it an observation? We never know because we can take it a multitude of ways. And instead, I trusted her and I considered it and then I put it into my performance. And it was amazing. And sometimes when I read reviews, going back to reviews, if there's something that I see that they harp on, if they focus on, maybe I'll try to hone in on that. But most of the time I see what they say and I go, okay, cool. Things are working. If not, well, I'm going to keep trying to explore. But with this particular experience, it's been amazing because I've been open to the things that my fellow actors have told me and I've taken them. For once in my life, I'm not defensive. It's been pretty beautiful, actually. I've been completely accepting of whatever anyone has to say to me and I just go with it. And it's so interesting. I remember being back in New World. You know, New World can be pretty intense. People can say some pretty mean things because it's a competitive program. And I didn't trust anybody. And I'm sick of being untrusting in general, in life. I mean, we have a lot of reasons not to trust people, but I've never understood why actors are so, myself especially, against what our fellow co-stars have to say. We're collaborating together. We're building this together. Their opinion is arguably the most insightful. Forget the reviews. I love a good review. Don't get me wrong. Who doesn't, right?
Right.
But with a team of collaborators, it's an ensemble experience. Why not listen to your fellow actor? And it's been something that I've finally been able to incorporate because I have trust issues. And now I'm listening and I'm taking things people say and I'm like, you know what? That could work. Let's try it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that has to do with reviews. Maybe that was a lot.
Well, I think something.
I think it's something we forget. You know, we're building this together.
Yeah. I think something to remember. I think something to remember too is you can learn something from everyone.
Absolutely.
Everyone. You're not above anyone. You're not better than anyone. You're in a different place, obviously, and there's no timeline either. But there's something to learn from everyone. And I've had moments where I feel above a certain scenario or above a certain project or above a certain person that's sort of above me in the food chain. But I think taking the time and the attention to give everyone a chance to affect you is so important.
Yeah.
Be affected. Even if if it rubs you the wrong way, let it rub you the wrong way, but try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Absolutely.
Because then you'll learn something if it actually ends up working out. You'll be like, I was wrong. Yep. And then you have to remember that. And you have to take it for what it is,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's such a strange thing because it's like we should be. That's the thing. I think a great actor is confident.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Always. The best thing we can do in an audition room, on stage, whether it's a live performance or if you're just rehearsing, is being confident. You should always be confident in yourself. There's a reason you're in the room. But so often we're fighting against each other. At least me, anyway. In my experiences, I haven't always been receptive of what other artists
you mean like in the audition process or when you're already cast?
Let's say we're cast. Let's go to being cast in a project.
So there's still fighting?
There's not necessarily fights, but this is the first time you're probably working with a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're bearing your soul. It's not even about bearing your soul to the audience. You're working with your fellow artists, your director, your stage manager, technicians, run crew, people who are going to watch you for the next 6 to 7 to 8 weeks. And you just need them to trust you. How are they going to trust you if you don't trust them? And coming off my last experience before this play, I was very defensive. And granted, there were some reasons why. But with this experience, I did not want to be defensive. I did not want to fight against my fellow artists. That's why I play pickleball. Shout out Miami Pickleball. Because I like to let out my competitive energy that way. I believe the theater is not the place to be competitive, which is so interesting that we can be so competitive in these environments. We're not. We're creating.
Yep.
I get that it's a business, so of course that's on the line, but we're bringing something to life together. So I guess that kind of, so it's not the audition process.
And sorry, going off of that, I think it's important for experiences or processes where you feel like it's not so artistically fulfilling, or you feel like there's a lot of conflict. I think it's really important to remember that it is a job.
Yeah.
And I think a good advice would be when you're in sort of circumstance like that where it's hard to work with certain people, or you maybe don't agree with some artistic choices, I think it just lean into the fact that it's a job.
Lean into it.
Show up, do what you got to do, and get out and remove yourself, and don't make it so important.
Yeah.
You know, because you wouldn't care so much if it was a desk job and your manager was, you know, you'd be like, oh, okay, what the fuck? But then you do it anyway and just do it. Yeah. And it wouldn't be the end of the world. But acting is such a personal experience.
It's such a personal
that it's hard to separate that, you know?
It is.
But I think that would be good advice for, you know, because in my experience, when it's something that's like, oh, I don't agree with the approach, or this person I'm working with is very difficult. Yeah. Just remove yourself. It's a job.
We're going to have to work with difficult people and all
clock in and clock out, baby. That's it.
Yep. And by the way, this is not to say everyone I've been working with in the show has been phenomenal to work with. So, but it's been my first time really accepting what other people have to say in the room, which I think is beautiful.
It's super important.
Yeah.
You're collaborating at the end of the day.
You're collaborating. So,
Gabe, what's the last time that you can remember being on the stage? And I'm sure we can all recall a moment like this where, man, it's just flowing. Everything is just, the puzzle pieces have meshed perfectly. It's like you could have messed up your lines if you wanted to. The script is in your head. No, but it's just, you are so locked in. And it's almost like the planets are aligned. Everybody's on their A game. And it's like magic is being created before you. What's the last time that you can remember, like really walking away from either a scene or a show? And of course, every single scene is magical. Every single show is magical. But I think we can all recall moments where, like, you get a damn applause break from a scene. You know, there's certain times that you're like, that was a good one, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So talk to me.
Man,
that magic.
I hate to make it cheesy, but man, almost every single performance of Frankenstein felt like that for me. I mean, you know, it was so heavy on me that it felt like if I was on it, you know, it was going to be so helpful for everyone else to be on it. And I felt on it every day. Thank God everyone else was right there with me. You know, I mean, like, everyone was so giving. All these actors were so collaborative. I felt like I didn't have to do much. So what you said about the flow, you know, even though I had such a big part, it felt like, man, everyone was there for me when I needed them to be there for me. But particularly closing night, you know, I had my whole family there. And there's there's a very aggressive and scary and emotional scene near the end that I shared with Lindsay Corey. Shout out. Amazing.
Shout out, Lindsay Corey.
Shout out. I'm working with her again this season, and I am so excited.
Nice.
There you go.
But yeah, and there were so many obstacles in that scene. It was the creature sexually assaults Frankenstein's wife. And, you know, it's such a touchy subject, but we had an intimacy director, Jenny Hacker, shout out. I'm working with her too.
Shout out Jenny Hacker.
But, you know, so many vulnerable components to the work that was being done. And she just was right there with me every day. She made it so easy. And knowing her before then made it easy too. But, yeah, man, just everyone being there for me and, you know, helping me and teaching me. It felt like that every show.
For our listeners who are not involved in the theater community or industry, what is an intimacy director and what do they do?
So this is such an incredible, you know, revolutionary wave that's happening in the industry right now, where intimacy in theater is actually being not only restricted, but sort of nurtured. You know, it's so touchy you don't know what an actor has been through in real life.
Right.
You don't know what they're comfortable with, what they're not comfortable with. And I have been on set before, and I've been on the stage before where people say, okay, now you guys make out. or now you guys have a sex scene and just sort of figure that out yourselves.
Right.
That's so hard. That's not only hard, but risky and very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
For so many reasons. You don't know what you might do to accidentally trigger someone, or, you know, especially if you don't have the skill set. Like, now that I've experienced an intimacy director, I'm confident without one.
Right.
But I still want one for the other actor and for the safety of the room and for the safety of the work. And also it's so important that intimacy directors take out, it's like a dance. It's like choreography.
Yes.
You're marking what you need to do, exactly when you need to do it. You know how far you can go, you know how little you can go, and that's it. You stay in that window. It's so vulnerable, and it creates a safe space for very scary scenes sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this one was my first one, and it's very, very intense. It was a sexual assault that ended with a murder and ended with, you know, even something else on top of that after.
Jeez.
I mean, it's, you know, that's
for your first one, you went all in.
Balls to the wall.
Yeah,
you know,
balls to the wall.
Talk about a crash course, right?
Yeah.
Masterclass at its finest.
For real.
Yeah, man. I mean, it changed the game, having someone in the room to just sort of facilitate a safe space and to teach sort of how to do it in a safe way. Is so helpful. I think every theater with any production that has intimacy should have a director specifically for that. It's super important. Mm-hmm. And it's a wave now. Like, so many theaters are doing it. I think it's super important.
But it is relatively new, right?
Yeah, no,
okay.
It is.
Okay.
No, I'm telling you, this was recent. I was rehearsing a play. I'm not going to say where or what it was, but literally I had to have an entire sex scene in slow motion, and they never worked it. Not once was it even adjusted or tweaked. I had to figure it out with this actress.
Right.
Thank God and thank her that it was collaborative and understanding, and it was not. I wasn't scared of the relationship.
Right.
But man, that could go south.
100%.
You don't know how that. And even for me, I don't know how I'm going to be affected by certain things.
Of course.
You know, you don't know your boundaries until they're crossed. Sometimes.
That's a great quote.
It's interesting because as much as I appreciate, right, this new position of the intimacy coordinator, right, but when you think about theater and its livelihood and sustaining theater,
you don't want to be limited as an artist.
It's like no. It's like theaters struggle sometimes to pay performers, to pay run crew.
Okay.
And then you're adding another necessary component.
I really just wish directors were better suited to intimacy coordinate, just like you.
Well, that's a conflict of interest. You know, if a director thinks that the scene should be really aggressive, and the actor doesn't necessarily agree, you don't have a third opinion in the room. You don't have someone to say, "Hey, I'm overriding this because this breaks a certain, just a general understanding of what intimacy direction does." So I think it's a conflict of it. I think that's why they don't have that going on.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
Because I think we can all agree here. We've all worked with directors who are like, yeah, just make out with her.
Yeah.
But then you get other ones
and that'll do
that
well.
are so helpful and that are so on it, you know? So it's a gamble. You know?
It's a gamble. I don't know. I mean, I like it. I feel like always like putting more hands into the pot is just going to make things messier. But I've never worked with an intimacy coordinator before.
Also, I mean, I don't know. I would actually like to know, but I don't know if you've ever worked in theaters that have really large budgets. You know, I mean, like if you're going to New York, that's a like, I mean, I have a friend who was on Broadway this year, and he was telling me all about the process and tech, and he sent me a text, and he was like, dude, there's like 50 people here on tech. On tech.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, so they care about everything.
No, they have a person for everything.
So there's no oh god, an intimacy director, this is gonna take out of the no. It's all money, man. They have it.
Right.
So we had a couple of weeks ago, Christy Prades, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out. And Christy, she was actually in the national tour for On Your Feet.
Oh, nice.
She was also in West End, Broadway, and she was telling us all that, all that good stuff. They have a person for everything. Yeah,
man. Remember, our knowledge is not because we want it to be, not because you're doing something wrong. It's so limited. You know, South Florida is a very different industry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that makes sense what you said. But then you think about other places you want to work, places it's different, man.
It is different.
It's a whole different world. They've had intimacy directors longer than we have.
Oh yeah.
They've had certain components longer than we have. You know what I mean? They're the ones that start the trends.
Yeah.
You know, we're just catching up.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm saying, we have three segments, and the second one is actually the movie review of the week. You know what I'm saying? And in this beautiful segment, we ask our illustrious guests for a suggestion, a recommendation, you know what I'm saying, a movie, a TV show, any sort of media. Let's say you got, 2-3 hours to kill before your next zoetic stage audition. You know what I'm saying? And you're out there, you know what I'm saying, you in the war room, you know what I'm saying, you have to kill 2-3 hours and you have to watch something on your phone, a TV show, a movie, whatever the case may be. What would you suggest?
Ozark.
Oh,
nice. Oh man, I just finished the last season. What an incredible, I like the other seasons better, but still, what an incredible show with incredible performance. Jason Bateman, Daddy Bateman. I mean, just like what a powerhouse, man. Talk about cool, calm, collected acting and still so dramatic and so deep and layered, but so calm. I mean, the guy's a genius, and he directs some of the episodes and he helps write. It's an incredible show. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I mean, they've won a bunch of awards. You know, I mean, it's no wonder why. You know,
right?
It's incredible.
Damn, Christian, you got any suggestions for the people?
Man, I watched Elvis last night.
How was that?
I haven't seen it.
I think it's better to watch in theaters. Yeah. I think that's where people got the impact with all the rave reviews and all the accolades it was getting. I was expecting so much, and it was good. It was really good. What's his name? Austin Butler? Austin Butler does a great job in it, but it's heavy-handedly Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann? I don't know. The director's name? No idea. He directed Moulin Rouge. Shout out. That's a great movie.
There you go.
But it just, I don't know. They got like a 10-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival, or maybe Andrew Butler did, and he chameleoned the shit out of it. He was Elvis for sure. He did a great job, but I don't know if it was good. It was good.
How many out of 10 stars?
10 stars? I want to give it 7.5.
Okay, that's not bad.
7.5. It was good. It was entertaining. It just took some time, and the way it's edited, I feel like it would all look good on a big screen as opposed to a TV screen. So maybe that had something to do with it.
Okay, very cool. Gabe, have you branched out to projects as far as television, film? Have you auditioned? Do you find yourself needing to tone yourself down or bring yourself in a little bit from going to a theater audition to going to something that's a little bit more controlled like TV or film?
Yeah, I mentioned my manager in New York, and most of the work that he sends me is camera work.
Okay.
So self-taping is so important and so convenient, and I love it. I mean, I love the wave. I mean, it was one of the, what's it called? Whatever, from the pandemic. One of the things that came from that.
And now it's the norm, right?
It's the norm, man. Yeah. And I love that. You don't got to go anywhere. You can get people from all over the country. And you can really, it's just changing the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the work is camera work. And I've auditioned for some pretty massive projects. Like this co-star with Eddie Murphy. I mean, I forgot. It's a classic, man. Whatever. That's a sequel. But I mean, I was auditioning for that. I was like, dude, what do I even do? How do I even go? Where do I start? Like, there's no way I'm going to get this. But then why is he asking me? Did they ask for me? Is he putting me? So you go crazy at the end of the day. Just fucking do it and shut up. But yeah, it's a completely different art. I mean, acting on camera and acting on the stage is so different. My heart is on the stage, but my wallet is in the camera.
Hell yeah.
I mean, another big thing is don't chase money, bro. You got to do what you love. And the second you start chasing money is when shit gets complicated.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's easy to fall into that trap. But yeah, it's a completely different art form, man. To tone yourself down, to act in instead of out is not something that comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking to the stage right now. That's all I'm booking. I haven't booked any camera work. So.
Do you find yourself doing like 1,000,000 takes, or you just do the one and you shoot it out?
I do 1,000,000 and I end up sending the first every time.
Wow.
Every time,
yeah.
I end up sending one of the first few.
Same.
Damn, you can because what happens, you do the first or one of the first ones and you really like something about it, but you don't like something else. So you try to recreate the thing you liked and change the thing you didn't like.
Exactly.
It's not gonna happen. You could change the thing you didn't like, but to recreate something it's so nuanced and it's so small, especially when you're acting small for camera. It's so hard to recreate something. Don't drive yourself crazy, man.
Yeah.
Just do it again, and then you get a better take in an overall better take. But if you're just trying to find that one moment again, good luck.
Yeah.
Are you constantly trying to add to your repertoire of monologues, or do you kind of have like your bread and butter? The two contrasting that you go to; those are your go-to, or do you find yourself always constantly trying to update them?
I'm actually really bad with that. I have two that I've been doing since college that I've only been asked a few times, and I've only auditioned a few times because most of the work has been, obviously I'm very grateful. It's been offers. So I haven't had to audition too much.
Nice. But
I stick to the two that I have. I wish I was better with it because I should be. But, I've fallen into a trap in the past 2 years, in the past year, where I have fallen in love with the theater so much. I'm trying to do everything in the theater. I've started writing a play. I want to direct. I want to, I'm trying to work for Zoetic now. It's like so many things that I'm trying to do that sometimes my acting suffers because of it.
On top of operating a full-time business.
There you go.
I stay busy, man. I stay really busy.
I can never get this guy to hang out. I've been trying for weeks now.
No, I invited you to my birthday party. So.
There you go. True.
Come on.
Actually, I didn't have a birthday party. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But no, man, I stay busy.
Tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
Yeah.
Because you stay busy, man.
Yeah, so I'm part owner of a bail bonds company with my dad. I take people out of jail.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Feroy Bail Bonds. If your freedom is a joy, call Feroy.
Oh, I love that.
Si quieres salir hoy, llama a Feroy. Y si quieres salir mañana, llama a quien te dé la gana.
Yo, that's amazing.
Yeah, we take people out of jail 24/7, 365.
Yep.
I'll give you a call in the future for sure.
Yeah, man, I'll give you one of my cards.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, my dad does all the underwriting. He picks up the phone 24/7, 365. I mean, the guy is insane. Any hour, any time, and he's so good. I mean, we're one of the highest rated bail bond companies in the country. Wow. So we have all 5-star reviews, and they all have testimonials, and they're all real clients. No family members, no friends. You know what I mean? No foul play. It's incredible. And it was all my dad. I just sort of came in at the right time, and I sort of revamped the company. I changed locations. I fixed some holes in the ship.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some leaks.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged those up, and now it's a well-oiled machine, man, and it's running really well. And that's how I've been able to be financially free, and it's given me sort of another layer of confidence in my acting career.
Oh yeah.
Where I don't need a job. I mean, thank God, I'm super grateful, but it makes a difference when you're not an audition,
God, yes.
and you don't need the job, and you're not begging for it. You can see that so clearly, especially when I was on the other side of the table. And I'm very fortunate for that, obviously, and super grateful. But even for people who do need it, I would advise try to make it seem like you don't.
Don't come off as desperate, because we're all desperate.
Yeah, and it's true, because even if I don't need it, I still really want it. I really want all of them. I want as much as I want all the jobs, you know?
Yeah.
But, so my company, it's been a blessing and a curse.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it, man. I love it.
Dude, and you deal with some shady fucking characters. He's shown me pictures before.
Yeah.
You deal with some shady people.
Yeah, well, a portion of what I do is fugitive recovery. So when they don't go to court, I have to go and arrest them. So that's been awesome. Obviously it's super risky, and it's very scary. I'm not trying to act like I'm hardcore. Right. It's very scary, but I've learned so much from the guys that go on the pickups with me. I've learned so much, and it's something I want to keep doing.
Man, give me a rundown. I mean, there has to have been a case where somebody did not want to go with you.
Oh yeah, I mean, they never want to go with
you. Okay, that's what I was.
No, I mean, sometimes I just went on a pickup a couple nights ago, and it was very, cooperative. So sometimes it's like just in and out. Hey, you got to come with us. All right, yeah, I understand. I know why you're here. Whatever, and then we ride. But sometimes, these people, it takes months to find them. Yeah, we have 60 days to catch someone before we have to pay the full amount of the bond. So I remember we had a $22,500 or $22,000 bond, skip.
Can we follow you with cameras? God, that sounds so exciting.
I just recently got an attachment on my vest.
Oh, really?
I can record from my phone.
Nice.
I've only gotten the last one that was cooperative, so
it's
not very interesting.
Like, hey, curse me out for the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like Patty Mayo. This guy, have you seen Patty Mayo? This guy on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
All those shits are fucking fake. For
Damn.
Sure.
Were you like intimidated or scared the first time you went out?
Oh, 100%. I knew it was something I wanted to do, but yeah, it's fucking so scary. I mean, you're putting your life on the line, man. But I believe, like I said before, if you do everything with pure intentions and you're not there to be a dick or whatever, I'm just there doing my job. It gives me a level of confidence where I'm like, I know I'm not going to get into something. You know, God forbid something comes my way, I deal with it when it comes. But, you know, there's only so much you could do. I like to live on the edge, man.
Dude,
I'm an adrenaline junkie. I like it. I like,
a little bit, to say the slightest. I mean, the characters you deal with are so different from the characters we deal with in showbiz, and you're so charming. I'm like, how is this motherfucker?
Dude, let me tell you.
How's he doing pickups? Dude, he's showing me some of the guys he picks up.
Have you been able to like use any?
Crazy
I mean, shit. Have you been able to use any of that like life experience on stage?
No, but I know I will one day. I'm trying to play John Wick, man.
Hell yeah, boy!
No, I train at this place, Florida Defense Training, I think FDT. Yeah, shout out to Frank and Chris and Carlos and all those guys. They're awesome, man. They're in Wynwood. If anyone needs tactical or defense training, I don't know if you guys. I know you've are experienced in martial arts. Yeah. They don't necessarily do that, but they do a lot of. I mean, they're dirty, man. Like he says, you want to win a fight, you got to be aggressive. Like, it's different than martial arts or. But I've learned so much from those guys. I train there all the time. Shooting from concealment, shooting on the move, sort of, diffusing situations, knife fights, all kinds of stuff. So I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm pretty confident when I go on these pickups. Yeah. But yeah, in the beginning, man, terrifying. Now I'm like, I got, I'm like ready to go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. But, dude, he's showing me pictures of him in the vest, man, picking up some of these people, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, you gotta go. Fucking cool. But it's also sketchy. I mean,
it's very sketchy. Yeah.
That's what's up.
And it's so different from what we do. It's so different.
Yeah, man.
Like the next day you're in Zoetic fucking casting and you're dealing with actors, and then at night you're fucking literally picking people up.
Yeah, man. I remember during Gringolandia, I don't do pickups while I'm on a contract. It's a deal I made with myself. I said,
y'all heard that?
Yeah, just like I wouldn't go skateboarding while I'm on a contract. Just like I wouldn't go skydiving when I'm on a contract. I don't go on pickups when I'm on a contract. Right. I'm very close to Zoetic. So it was mid Gringolandia. I got a tip from a CI, a confidential informant that I had, that told me where this guy was. And I told Stuart, I said, listen, I got to do this, man. I hope you don't fire me. I just want to make it very clear to you what I got to do. And then I went and did it. I don't think we ever talked about it after that. I think, never happened. Right. But I went on the pickup. I got the guy. Everything was fine. But man, it's a risk. Also because you never know if you're gonna be falsely arrested or so many things can happen. Oh yeah. So I never go on pickups when I'm on contract. But that one time I had to, and we got him, and it was all good. Thank God.
Okay, good. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, we have three segments, and the last one is the quest for the truth. You know what I'm saying? And in this segment, we ask our illustrious guest a random, emphasis on the word random, question from this here deck of cards or book or whatever the case.
We got a book today.
And here we go. All right.
I'm always nervous for this one.
This one's kind of an easy. I wouldn't say easy, but and this applies to both of you.
Oh, fuck.
If you had to change citizenship, which country would you want to become citizen of? Oh.
I love America.
Oh. Hashtag Labor Day.
I love it, baby.
I really do. I fucking love it here. It's flawed and it's not perfect, but I love it.
Hell yeah.
I just had to say that first. But
no preface.
I've heard New Zealand's awesome.
Dude, go on.
I've heard New Zealand's awesome. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard it's great. I probably wouldn't want to go that far. I'd probably choose like Canada or something. But I'll go with Canada because I'm not trying to go too far.
All right, respect Canada. Okay, our neighbors to the north, you know what I'm saying?
I lived in Canada for 5 years.
Oh, that's right.
I lived in Canada for 5 years. It is truly indeed a wonderful place to live. Everyone's nice. Everyone's happy. I don't think a lot. I used to walk to school alone at 6 years old. You know what I mean? It's that kind of place. But my buddy Orelso Lopez, Oreo, who we used to call him Oreo back in high school, he moved to Finland. All right, he met a Finnish girl on Tinder, She was visiting Miami.
He just Googled Finland, by the way.
I had to make sure I was saying it the right way. You know, I don't know, man. Switzerland, you got Sweden, you got whatever you were just talking about over here. He's now married to a Finnish girl. He has an excellent job. He has he's got a house now. It would be like a $1.5 million house, probably for $250,000. He's got like 50 acres of property. He has a kid now. I'm so happy for him. He's completely changed from when I knew him. I think I would go to Finland because everyone there seems really nice, and I feel like they care about their people. But I do love the US of A, so I have to say that as well.
Damn.
I'm glad we put that in. Man. Shout out to the US.
Yeah, everybody
Shout out USA, baby.
Everybody's giving USA shout outs over here. Okay.
Where would you go?
I would do either. I would go back to Argentina.
Okay.
Or if the crime didn't let me, I would go to Europe. You know.
I just realized I'm on an Argentinian podcast.
I guess so. Yeah.
Vamos Argentina.
There you go. Vamos.
Let me hear more. That could have been in between.
That would have been great. Thank you for answering those questions. Gabe, talk to us about, if you can, some upcoming projects that you have in the works.
Sure. My next show is going to be at Palm Beach Drumworks.
Okay.
I'm playing Leo in 4,000 Miles by Amy Herzog.
Amazing.
Very excited about that. It's I worked at Zoetic all season last year, and now I have work lined up in a couple different theaters, so that's really exciting.
Nice.
I'm doing 4,000 Miles at Palm Beach Drumworks, which opens in October. Then I'm doing Red Speedo at the Foundry by Lucas Nath.
Are you going to be in a Speedo?
Yes, the entire show.
The entire show.
I play an Olympic swimmer.
Oh, shit. I see that, bro.
Nice.
I see that.
Are you hitting on me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude. I think you would look good in a Speedo. And I think if they got a pool, you're going to fall. I can see you doing laps, bro.
There's no pool, man.
There's no fuck. Come
budget's not that big,
to
dude.
Borrowed.
But yeah, so I'm playing Ray, I think his name is, in Red Speedo by Lucas Nath at the Foundry.
Nice.
Then I'm doing 39 Steps with Zoetic at Ocean Reef.
Nice.
And I'm playing, I forgot the name of my character, but it's the lead, so that's exciting also.
Nice.
Okay.
That's 3 lead roles back to back.
Sheesh.
And then in April and May, I'm doing El Huracán at Gable Stage.
Very
really
cool.
Exciting. Yeah.
Big shout out Gable Stage. You know what I'm
Gable
saying?
Stage, baby.
Yeah, and to Barry Newport and the director and the casting team.
Big shout
We're
out.
all really great in that process. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you got a fucking season for the books, it sounds like.
Yeah, man. I was I was nervous after last season ended. I didn't have anything lined up, obviously. And I was like, man, am I not gonna work at all this season coming up? I'm like, what's gonna happen? It's the first. Last season was the first season I worked, so I was like, how does this work? How does this go?
Right.
And then little by little, man, it just came. Palm Beach offered me the role. I didn't even have to audition.
Nice.
I mean, just so grateful for that. For the trust in my work.
Yeah.
It means so much. You're doing something right when someone just calls you and asks you to do something.
Oh, yeah.
Especially someone you haven't worked with before.
Yeah.
It's so it's such a nice affirmation, So that, and then Red Speedo was also another offer. 39 Steps was an offer, and then El Huracán I had to audition for. I actually reached out to her. I found out through the grapevine the show, and I was like, hey, I need to audition for this. Like, this role is perfect for me. I need this, and I want this.
Is it give us a little bit of information about that show, because I don't know too much about it specifically.
It's a world premiere. I forget the playwright's name, man.
Okay.
No. Actually, I don't know if it's a world premiere, but I think it's a South Florida premiere. I may be wrong, but it's a really, really beautiful play. And it just came at the perfect time in my life. My grandma has dementia, and my whole family's been struggling with it for a while now. And this play surrounds a family where the grandmother is riddled with dementia.
Oh, wow.
And it's right when Hurricane Andrew is coming.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, and it's beautiful, and it's about memory, and it's about love, and it's about family. It's a fantastic play. I'm really excited for it. It's a smaller role, which I'm looking forward to. It'll be a nice break. But yeah, I'm very excited to be a part of that production. Yeah, and I've always wanted to work at Gable Stage and Palm Beach, so it's a dream come true, man. You asked me what my dream role is. It's the roles I'm doing.
Nice.
That's awesome.
On cloud 9.
That's the perfect answer.
So far, have you only worked with Zoetic?
Yeah, Zoetic and the Foundry with Ronnie Larson. Shout out to Ronnie. He's an awesome dude, man. If you get a chance to work there, he's really shifting his work and his theater company, and it's really exciting the direction he's headed in. And yeah, man, I did the code there with Michael McKeever and Mia Matthews and Tom Wall, and it was directed by Chris Renshaw. So it was, just veterans, I was like, man, what an opportunity. Man. This is like the, A-listers and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Does that sort of thing intimidate you or motivate you?
No, man. It's like I said, you have something to learn from everybody, especially people like that. So I'm just there to learn, man. Especially at a smaller role, so I didn't have to work too hard. And I was just there to learn, watch, and also they were just so cool and fun and endearing and welcoming, and it was perfect, man. It was a cool experience.
Christian, the same question to you. You've worked with some A-listers as well. Does that motivate you or intimidate you?
Man, when the first day we read through the script of Now and Then with the cast that I'm currently performing with, it was honestly so incredibly intimidating. I mean, Mallory, I saw her perform in a musical 5 to 6 years ago, Curtains at the Wick Theater, and she was incredible. I knew she was going to be phenomenal in this show, but it's funny, she only does musicals up until this play. So there was a lot of pressure riding on her for this.
Is that a single exception for her, or is she going to...
No, she'll keep doing plays. She's good at everything. So is the rest of this cast, but... I remember from day one thinking, she's incredible. Steve is incredible. Laura, Laura Turnbull, she's been working down here forever in New York, Broadway. It was intimidating. But I remember thinking, I'm going to learn from these people. Oh, 100%. And that was the best way to go into the experience, as opposed to going like, I don't know what I usually think, but thinking back to when I was 21, 22, just hitting the theater scene, I was not like this. And I've just learned so much from finally dropping my own ego and just going, you know what? I can only learn things from working with these people. So they're incredible. It was intimidating. It's been intimidating. It still is. They pour their fucking heart and soul out every night on stage. Our show's about love. It's about the passing of time. It's about the decisions we make. If we could change them, would we? And if we could change them, would that even be the right thing to do? It's a beautiful show. Yeah. And seeing them execute it the way they do only gives me drive to do.
Can't
at
wait
least
to see it, man.
Get to the same. No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, keep having it up like Elvis.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute banger of an episode that we have had today. Sheesh. Can we please give it up for our guest today, Gabriell Salgado? My brother, thank
Thanks
you.
For having me, boys.
Thank you so much for coming through. An absolute blast. A very such an informative, such a colorful experience to be able to kick it with you. Again, thank you so much. What do you have for our guests? Talk to us as far as where can the people follow you, follow your journey. Talk to us about social media.
For sure, man. I'm on Instagram, Gabriel with 2 L's. That's always a little so problematic.
A little asterisk.
Yeah, my mom just wanted to make my life hard. Gabriel with 2 L's, GABRIELLSALG, half my last name. Don't know why. That's what it is. Facebook, my full name, Salgado.
There you go.
Gabriel Salgado, and then that's pretty much it. I do have a closing thought.
Please.
Yeah. I was talking about this the other day, and I was thinking about this earlier. Don't be a slave to possibility. Appreciate what you have and the work you're getting or the person you're with. And there's always someone hotter. There's always a higher paying job. There's always a cooler place to live. There's always something more fulfilling to be done. But where you're at is where you're at. And the second you start being where you're at is when you're going to be happy. So don't be a slave to the possibility, because there's always something else. And the grass is always greener on the other side. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And then I always wrap the episode with one final question. Gabe, if you could tell the 10-year-old version of yourself something today with the knowledge that you have, what would it be?
I'd say exactly what I just said. And I'd top it off with, man, just take the world by the balls. Yeah. Just do it, and just be kind and be committed and just fucking do your hardest. Work your hardest, and that's it, man. That's it. Damn. That's all it's about.
That's what's up. What's up. Chris, you got anything for the people before we wrap up?
Man, I can't follow up anything like that. Be kind, be committed, okay? respect your coworkers, respect your co-stars, respect other people, approach them with kindness.
Are you calling him out right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think there was a little shade in there.
Specifically talking about this guy over here. You know what I mean? This guy's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, you guys are pretty incredible people.
I
and thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much for having me.
No.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you for
I've been
joining
looking
us.
forward to this moment for a long time. So
And I'm sorry for being so problematic getting this together. Man. I really wanted to do it.
Not at all. Not
I
at
didn't
all.
hear
dude.
anything about it. He would have let me know if you were
Not
being
at all.
problematic.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right.
No.
Good then.
No, you're amazing, brother. Thank you again. You are a natural as always. Please make sure to follow him, follow your journey, follow his journey. Let him know that we sent you, and you will catch this man on multiple stages this upcoming season. Multiple stages, you know what I'm saying? Ripping up the South Florida theater scene. Please catch him. Let him know we sent you. Again, my brother, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, every Thursday at midnight, what are you doing? You go on Deezer, you go on Apple Podcasts, you go on Spotify, all that good stuff. But more than anything, you go on YouTube. That's why we got 72 damn cameras in here. You know what I'm saying? So you can see everybody's beautiful faces and that porn stash. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. Oh man,
It's sexy.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna turn off the cameras because it's about to get lit up in here.
I guess steamy in there.
Every Thursday at midnight, you know what it is. Holla.
Holla.
Peace.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. When you can push it to the